to draw my life because I'm like, I am the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice, hoping, girl, because you got to hold your breath for justice. To see justice before all face to black. Yes, it's your girl Cadillac. Girl, I'm coming through. It is still February the 18th, 2026. I am so tired, but I told y'all I was going to go on and force myself to draw. So we're going to, I'm going to draw and we're going to listen to the rest of Introverted Rockstar's video that he recorded about the latest find on Tory Lanez and his wrongful conviction case. And then we're going to get into a woman, Tyra Patterson, that spent 2 decades in prison for something she did not do. So we're going to start learning her story. I am going to attempt to finish this piece I started last year, Introverted Rockstar. I'm not Introverted Rockstar. Girl, I did Introverted Rockstar already. Y'all want to see that one? Introverted Rockstar. I don't know why he crossed my mind, but this is 1250 podcast. This is who we're going to finish. Introverted Rockstar. Since his name seemed to be on my mind, let's show you his project, Reach the World. I only did 3 last year. I did Taylor House Publishing, which he asked to have that one, so I don't have that one in my book. I did Introverted Rockstar. Here it is. And then 1250 Podcast, but I did not finish his. Project Reach the World, Introverted Rockstar. So now, so this is who we're reviewing his video tonight. But we're actually working on 1250 podcasts, finishing up his. That's why I said that, because we were watching his video, so I got confused. I'm tired. I'm going to bed, girl. It's like my body is working on autopilot. So I'm going to finish this. Let's listen to the video, and then we're going to get into the next wrongful conviction story. Yes, hallelujah. Okay. So where are we? Videos. Wait. Trying to find. I watched it tonight. So we were about halfway through. Here it is.
In the beer, put 5. And they feed what you eat. The first is.
Okay.
Not long ago, Unite the People was approached by a gentleman named Bradley.
So this is not my video. I am reviewing his video for commentary, literary, and entertainment and educational purposes only. So the one thing I like about Introverted Rockstar, he just says it how it is. He has a bigger platform where he can. I have to say certain things in almost like cold word, girl. And that's because my channel, you gotta have something to offset. If you're gonna, try to grow in a place that doesn't want you to be shown at all, right? So though they wouldn't like his message to be heard because he gets straight to the point with what he has to say. Um, some of the things he said I can't say on my channel, but it still is what it is. It's like we need to be able to talk reality. Like it's crazy that when you talk about artism, right? Because you make a complaint against artism, against it, people call you artist or you're being divisive. And it's like, because I'm fighting for myself, I'm dividing us when you literally, the only reason I'm going through this is because you divided us in the first place. Now, you know my belief, we are all together. We all are basically one, and that I have what you need, you have what I need. That if we work together in a ecosystem, we all would thrive, honestly.
Wow!
But
He shot!
oh, I'm like, what the heck was that? That scared me almost, but I ain't jumped. That's Tory's dad. But the divide comes so that we can be allegedly conquered. Allegedly, all this, the ways that, like this mass incarceration, like the things that are happening now, you know, they could not happen if we all seen ourselves as one. I wouldn't allow it to happen to you, and you wouldn't allow it to happen to me. And we outnumber, hands down. Hands down. Y'all remember that game? Hands down, we outnumber. So the only way to make sure that you stay in the control of those that outnumber you is to keep them divided. Don't let that one talk to that one. That one they can never be together. They do that in narcissistic relationships. They keep a bunch of flying monkeys around them. Flying monkeys are people that uphold their wrongdoing, but never do they ever let the two actually discuss. Like if it's a flying monkey here and a flying monkey there, they're never gonna let y'all sit down and chop it up because y'all might see that y'all are very similar, and y'all might turn around and look at the narcissist and be like, "Hold on, it's you. It's not. It's not us, right?" So to make sure that never happens, we are divided. There are people that see through it, but unfortunately, allegedly, there's too many that just are surface level thinkers and they can't see through the BS, right? So, because we're calling out this system that is based on artism, it's built on it, that's the foundation. So, it's very difficult to talk about injustice and never mention artism. I try it, I really do. Because when I talk about the artism that led to my husband being incarcerated simply because he's BLK, I'm told to shut up and stop complaining. So I'm like, okay, well, let me just show you the injustices that still, no matter his skin tone or color, that are still wrong. They're still against constitutional rights. They're still against the law. They're still against protocol. So let me leave out the racial aspect because that alone is injustice. But let's talk about the fact that they took out evidence in his case. Whether he's, YT or BOK, that's still wrong, right? And I plead that you would see the wrongdoing. But a lot of people, you can appeal to that and they actually can peel it back and say, oh yeah, that is wrong. Oh yeah, his rights were violated allegedly. Um, but then there are those that they believe whatever justification for your rights being violated is. Do they have to justify it in some type of way, right? So you have to talk. You can't have these wrongful convictions without talking about artism. It's part of it, and just because I mean he calls it out plain, but it's very difficult to talk about the injustice without mentioning the foundation. Okay, here we go.
Prosecutor's investigator who acted so dumb, an intelligent woman who did not want, listen, I've seen so much evidence buried in this, and I know exactly what the public out here will say.
Okay, you already know what I say. That makes sense. And look, I'm gonna calm down a little bit. But I remember a few weeks ago when that Epstein list came out. Charlemagne, he threw us under the bus. Charlemagne the raccoon, he took up for Jay-Z. He said we always attacking our own people. He said we always attacking our black leaders. What you talking about, Willis? Jay-Z ain't no black leader of ours. He don't speak up for our people. He don't care about our people. He care about money, bro. That's it. He's part of the reason that Brooklyn was gentrified. And if you live in New York and you're from New York, if you know, you know. You don't care about black people. Like this dude threw us under the bus on the radio, bro. And these record labels, they don't care about us either, bro. They want to own your music. They want to own your whole soul. And they can't own you, they gonna do whatever they can do to destroy you. I keep telling y'all, the game is cold.
That's the
Tory Lanez cracked the code by treating music like content creation, prioritizing speed, volume, and content engagement. By owning his masters, releasing consistently, and even selling an album for $1, he proved that visibility, direct fan connection, and control can outperform traditional label systems while cutting out industry middleman. Make that make sense. Let me ask y'all something. Do you think these labels want black people, black artists, to learn about generational wealth? No. They need you dependent on their system. They need every artist dependent on their system, especially black artists. Now, I want y'all to take a wild guess in my comment section. Tell me who owns all the major record labels. Don't worry, I got time. I'll wait.
I got time today.
I got time. Yeah, all right. Jay-Z don't care about our people, bro. He sold out a long time ago, bro, because he want to fit into this Caucasian system, bro. He don't care about our people. He don't care about no artists, bro. So if they can't,
And you basically have to get your foot in the door of that industry. Somewhat back in the day, they did have artists that was really, you know, standing on business. But the issue is they took them out. And they silenced them, or they basically made them change their tune. That's how they do it. They make you change your tune.
they gonna do whatever they can do to ruin you, and that's what they did to Tory. It is what it is. And look, before anybody get in my comment section and say, "Oh, we condone violence against women," no, I don't. I don't condone violence against women. I don't condone violence against our women.
And that's the
I hate
thing.
that shit.
Okay.
But I also don't condone violence and lies against black men. I don't.
What he's saying is that he's advocating for Tory Lanez being innocent, but because Tory Lanez is allegedly accused of violence against a woman, it is off rip deemed that that has to be true. So because you defend Tory, you're now defending violence against women, ignoring the fact that he is allegedly wrongfully accused and incarcerated of this. So just like my husband is wrongfully incarcerated for robbery, right? Because I advocate for him and advocate that he's wrongfully incarcerated, but still he did not get the time allotted for robbery. People then deem that oh, you're in support of criminals. How does that translate that I'm in support of criminals? Number one, he's not a criminal. He's just been mislabeled a criminal because he's wrongfully incarcerated, right? And because I'm advocating for truth, for justice, for an innocent person that was accused of robbery, then you're saying that I just condone criminals. It's so hard. That's why it's been decades of me trying to find creative, different ways to explain it. Like, people totally miss the point on purpose, I think. They purposely miss the point. And I don't know.
Because it's been going on.
Ranger knows if you're a lineman in charge of keeping the lights on, you go to great.
It's been going on far too long, bro. All throughout history. Go do your research, bro. A lot of stuff happened because everybody is always lying on black men, bro. Go do your research. Look at Michael Jackson, bro. It just came out. Michael Jackson was protecting those kids from Epstein. That's why he created Neverland, bro. So these people made documentaries on Lifetime about Michael Jackson, messing up his name, bro. And you had black people believing this stuff, bro. You had black people believing this stuff, bro. Calling Michael Jackson all type of stuff. The whole time he was protecting those kids. Go do your research. He was protecting those kids from Epstein, bro. And also, they did what they did to him because he exposed the whole system. At one time, he owned 50% of Sony.
Y'all don't forget his song. They don't really care about us. Yes, and he recorded that in a prison.
What they did to him, bro. And I can go on and on. There's so many black artists, bro. As soon as they spoke their mind, or as soon as they was fighting for the money they was owed, Angie Stone, look what happened to them. They framed them. So look at the games they played with our people, bro. But what I do like is the tables are finally turning. And I love that shit. Tory Lanez was stabbed 14 times, bro. In prison, he was stabbed 14 times. Someone put a hit out on him so they can end all this stuff, bro. Because they didn't want this information to keep coming out because it makes them look bad.
To have these powerful people after him. To have, he got a purpose. He really does. He's going through this for a reason, for a purpose.
So someone paid a Mexican to stab him 14 times. Imagine being innocent and you just fighting for your life, but these people, they got money and connections. They can do whatever they want to do to you, bro. They can make you look bad in the media, bro. How many times they made black men look bad in the media when it comes to entertainment, bro? First they clapping for you.
Tupac, Michael Jackson, almost all the big artists, they all had cases. Snoop Dogg, but Snoop Dogg, I don't know, was he criminalized to the point, to the extent that, they did Tupac. Like Tupac, they definitely was gonna come for him. His mother, oh my gosh, his lineage. Just knowing how powerful that lineage is, they was coming for him. And he was just so freaking brilliant. And do you know brilliant just begets more brilliance? So how much more powerful would he have been had he still been alive? He would have been like 54 now? We had a Tupac that left this world at 26. Could you imagine if this world had a couple more decades of Tupac? Girl, what this whole industry wouldn't have been what it was now. And they knew he had to be out the way, allegedly, for them to get this industry where it is now.
Doing dirty. Michael Vick. Like they just said, they treated Michael Vick so bad, but they not talking about this Epstein stuff. They act like Michael Vick was unaliving people. fighting dogs, bro. They had to
And
interview
that,
in
they
the jail
definitely
cell.
care
Yeah.
more about a dog than allegedly a BLK man. That they definitely do. They would save the life of that dog. Like I said, I could possibly free Willie before I can free my husband who is wrongfully incarcerated as a BLK man.
Prime of his career, bro. In the prime of his career. Look what they did to Muhammad Ali. I can go on and on. Tory Lanez own business, bro. And he cracked the code.
He showed it.
He
He said,
cracked the
I
code.
cracked
He
the
made like
code. I broke the internet. I cracked the code. Girl.
$1 billion in like 30 seconds, bro.
Can't
I think it's
tell
like 30
everybody.
seconds or maybe like a minute. They can't have that information coming out. They need these artists to sign to these record labels, bro. They want you to sign your soul away and they go steal from you, bro. Look at Angie
Because they're
Stone.
going to use that influence for the youth.
Right before she got
They're going
murdered,
to
bro.
use
I'm
you
gonna
to
say she got
influence the
murdered,
youth
bro.
to
She
do
was
these
fighting for the
crazy
money
things to
they
keep these
owed her, bro.
pens full.
And she just went out, and everybody just moved on with life like that didn't happen. So I'm glad they're not moving on with the Tory Lanez situation. I'm glad they're doing what they're doing, bro. I'm glad they're doing what they're doing, bro. Because a lot of times, a lot of people, they get away with just doing things to black men, moving on with life. Like I told you, these record labels don't want these rappers to know about generational wealth. They want them signing their soul, bro. Clive,
Okay.
all these people, they need.
So they, period, do not want wealth in the BLK community, right? Though they gonna tell you that they really want us to just pull ourselves up as they're actively cutting the bootstraps and like prying the boots off of our feet, allegedly. If we were ever able to, and we will one day, it's just taking longer because of all the obstructions, of justice, allegedly. But once we do, and you no longer can criminalize us, you can't build whole institutions on our broken families and pain and our lack of freedom. What will you do then? Right? You praise the good guys keeping you safe. But once we're out of the streets, out of the gutters, out of the trenches, and there's nothing for them to secure, what will it be built on? That's why they can't allow allegedly us to rise. Because us rising declines the businesses allegedly that have been built off us never getting past ground zero. Allegedly. Right? If they really did want all this safety and law and order, and how would these judges, these lawyers, how would the lawyers make hand over fist money? Because everybody's doing the right thing. Kids are getting out the street. That's why allegedly they obstruct a lot of after school programs and stuff in Chicago. I've reviewed videos about that when OGs are coming back and they getting out of prison and they trying to do good for the community and their resources are snatched from them. Things that would divert the young from being in the streets. And it's actually working. It's already in effect and it's working. And then you divert it, but you want crime to stop. How? It's like, it's really a narcissist. It's the narcissism. A narcissist. Their mouth, what they say, do not align with their actions. And that's what they're saying. We want you to just follow the law. And we want you to just pull yourself up by your bootstraps and stop committing crimes. Right? We want you to do that. But we're doing everything to keep you in this cycle. Cutting education, taking out history, cutting resources, cutting mental health, cutting anything that could make a difference. Do you know now a lot of the mental health is now prison? They diverted from mental, like basically facilities, to putting them in prison, right? And just showing them and thinking their mental health allegedly is going to get better. The most sane person's mental health will decline in prison, especially you're not being rehabilitated, you're just a human on a shelf. Allegedly. But we want them to come back to society after being shelved like you're not even human, treated like you're not human, treated less than that dog. But we want you to come back and act civilized in society. This is why rehabilitation actually matters to even you, the law abiding citizen, right? Because you don't live in your community by yourself. If you did, then it would be fine. But you live with people around you. You live with neighbors. You live with people down the street. You live with people cross town or whatever. You live with the people you shop, go to the store with. You live with everyone, right? You're not in a bubble. So just because you keep yourself out of trouble, if the next do not keep themselves out of trouble, they get out of prison, they can't find no home, they can't find no job, they can't support themselves, they're going to come to that community and they're going to find some type of way to eat, right? Would you rather them come to your community and build these after school programs and keep the kids out the streets? Or would you rather them come back? They can't eat, so they're robbing you, allegedly, to eat. I mean, come on now. This is so remedial. This is so elementary. But it flies over majority's head. Like, for real.
Your soul to keep moving. Meanwhile, they calling you lazy.
Mm-hmm.
While they calling you lazy, they making money off of your efforts, bro.
Yeah.
They making money off of your work, and they just sitting back laughing. Don't know nothing about the black community, don't know nothing about rap, nothing, don't have no type of talent, but they making money. Tory Lanez did R&B. They don't know nothing about singing. But just because Tory Lanez owned his master's, bro, they wanted that. And he was young, they wanted that. And they found a way to get it. Do your research on Sam Cooke, bro. Anytime a black artist, especially when they're young, they own their masters, and they make great music. Tory was making great music, bro. He had the fans, he had the attention, he had the connections. They had to end that because he wasn't playing by their rules. And everybody else want to play by their rules. I see the dude, Wr0ngful, he signed to Jay-Z. He talking about Lil Wayne made toxic rap. He said Lil Wayne was toxic. Of course, he made some toxic music, but Lil Wayne also made
I'm
toxic
gonna be honest with you.
But you just...
I liked the Lil Wayne that was with Cash Money, the original Lil Wayne. And he went on by himself. He did make a lot of toxic music.
You just signed to it.
And he influenced so many rappers behind him to emulate every move that he did. At one point, everybody sounded like Lil Wayne. And I really felt like he kind of changed the whole rap game, not really for the positive. And then you had Nicki Minaj come along, and she really just kind of brought down the integrity of a female rapper, right? I really did not like her whole, everything she stood for. She was I had a little girl at that time, and she was really nobody I ever wanted my little girl to look up to. But I couldn't. She was marketing herself as a Barbie doll. Like, what other childhood? That's like me being vulgar and marketing myself as a Fisher Price toy. Who am I going to attract? Whose attention? Right? So that era of hip hop, that's where it started losing me.
On the Epstein list, you just signed to a dude that has all these accusations on him, all these stains on his name. Like, what are you talking about, bro? I think he was paid to say that, but it is what it is, bro. Like I say, I'm glad they not letting this go, bro, because to get 10 years for something you didn't do, with no fingerprints on the bullet or on the gun, nothing.
And in my husband's case, you're charged with a GUN, and they don't even have a GUN. At least in Tory Lanez's case, they actually have a GUN. It doesn't have anything tying him to it, which in the wrongful convictions, there never is any physical evidence that ties the person to the conviction because it's wrongful, right? So they have at least a GUN, right? But it doesn't have his forensics on it, In my husband's case, they just said, oh, there was a GUN. And by the way, P.S., there was a GUN. We gave good search for it, but couldn't find it. But still, can we charge him with GUN enhancements? Oh, sure you can. He's BLK. That's all them young BLKs do, You said he had a GUN. We'll take your word for it. Don't ever produce evidence. It's okay. We'll still charge him with it. Nobody powed, nobody hurt, nothing. We'll still charge him with that GUN. It doesn't matter if the evidence fit. We'll make it fit, right? We'll make it fit, and we will get diverted for real.
And you got 10 years, bro. The game is cold. That's why I say
40, but I wish he only had 10. I really wish.
You don't have to sign to these record labels and big business. You don't have to do that, man.
Now, it's ironic. He's talking about wrongful convictions and rappers and singers, right? That's the reason I started rapping, because I was going to break my husband's story through rapping and through my art. So he's now talking to artists. Don't sign. You don't have to sign. You can have your own creative. Like I could talk about wrongful convictions if I want to all day long. If I hadn't got signed, most likely I couldn't have put out that message. I would have been putting out the type of messages that I don't enjoy from Nicki Minaj, which she actually was different before she was signed. You have to conform to be able to actually put forward. You're not going to put out what you want. That is a misconception. They think that artists get to put out their own creative art however they want with no boundaries. It's not like that. You're in a prison. You're in a creative prison as an artist, right? And you will only do their alleged agenda. So that part, I'm glad, because it would have been, I could have got the money to get my husband legal representation, but I would have had to become somebody that I'm not. And I would have had to press a whole agenda that I'm totally against, allegedly. So I'm glad that did not happen, right? Even though I was salty about it for a long time. But if you don't, it is going to be a slow, grueling grind to ever get what you're doing off the ground. Evidence, state evidence, A or B or 1, me. That's your evidence there. Grinding for years, for decades, and ain't even made it to Project Reach the World. Girl, I ain't even Project Reach my backyard. So you will have your creative freedom, but you won't have the exposure that you need to get something done.
Your own way, you can make your money your own way, get 100%. You might get it slow. You might have to do a lot more
Very
work,
slow.
but you will feel
more
good
work.
that you're free.
Oh,
You
not
gonna
that
feel
part
good. You gonna
now.
have to ask, can I put this out?
I sure didn't ask y'all.
You gonna feel good.
I
And that's
put it
the only
out.
reason why Tory is being punished, because he didn't bow down to the system. Man, free Tory. I'm out.
That part.
Day one care, newborn scan.
That
Vino baby healthy start.
part. Alrighty, guys. So, this setup wasn't working too well. I usually have my board. I'm standing up. I'm tired, so I didn't stand up and I didn't set my board up. I'm too close. It won't zoom in. Oh, now it zooms in because this thing is right up on me. It's not even working right. But I needed that to be backed up some. I keep bumping the tripod here with my little thing. I don't have the right board to draw. So it's really not coming out that well. But we'll try again tomorrow. At least we picked up the pencil. We broke that wall of, like I said, it's warfare around my art, right? So we broke through that wall of warfare and we actually got something done on this, right? So that makes it a little bit more easier to try to finish it when you feel like you're getting somewhere with it, when you're almost done with it. The kids will be back tomorrow though. So I may or may not, or by chance, I was able to get out the bed early. Maybe I can get up early and work on it. Now I'm trying to zoom out. When I'm trying to zoom in, it won't zoom in. I'm trying to zoom out, it won't zoom out. My granddaughter took her crayon and zoomed all across and said, "Grandma, I'm trying to help you out." I was like, "Oh, sweetie, it's so beautiful." And all right, guys. I will talk to y'all later. It's your girl